Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every...
What's better than a hot cup of coffee first thing in the morning? Exactly. Absolutely nothing. It's no secret that I love my coffee, and so does the rest of the world, with over 2 billion cups of coffee consumed daily worldwide. But did you know that coffee might be increasing your levels of LDL cholesterol, aka bad cholesterol? What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Workout Nerd Out. For the first timers out there, I'm Julio Lopez, a certified strength and conditioning specialist with over 10 years of experience as a personal trainer, specializing in helping busy men and women lose weight, build strength, and feel better about their bodies. And I also have my master's degree in nutrition. With heart disease as the #1 killer in the US and coffee consumption as high as it is, the notion that coffee can contribute to elevating bad cholesterol levels should be alarming. However, it's also important that you know that I'm not suggesting that you give up on drinking coffee, because it's not all coffee that contributes to higher LDL cholesterol. Cholesterol is made in your liver, then gets pumped throughout the body in your bloodstream. The main two types of cholesterol that the body makes are low and high density lipoproteins, LDL and HDL, in which LDL cholesterol is considered as bad cholesterol and HDL cholesterol is good cholesterol. LDL cholesterol can stick to the arteries, which may increase blood pressure by clogging up said arteries, and even cause a heart attack or stroke when blood can't get through. A healthy diet that limits saturated fat and dietary cholesterol, along with abundant produce consumption, can help control LDL levels and boost HDL cholesterol, which can actively remove the LDL cholesterol that's sticking to the arteries, thus reducing the chances of a heart attack or stroke. How does coffee raise bad cholesterol levels? It has a lot to do with the diterpenes cafestol and kahweol, which exist in coffee beans and end up in brewed coffee when using an unfiltered method. In other words, using a French press, pour over, ceramic or metal or glass filters, or Turkish coffee are all considered unfiltered. In a 2000 study published by the Journal of Internal Medicine, researchers found a link between increased LDL cholesterol and cafestol and kahweol. The method of brewing the coffee you drink plays a major role on the potential risk of increasing your LDL cholesterol. While I love my French press, it doesn't do a good enough job to filter out the diterpenes, cafestol, and kahweol that contribute to a rise in LDL cholesterol. In contrast, using a filter, just as you would with a conventional coffee maker or Chemex, this does remove those compounds. Therefore, you're not going to see elevated bad cholesterol levels with filtered coffee. Did you know that the amount of unfiltered coffee that you drink plays a big role in determining whether or not it's going to increase your LDL cholesterol? The common misconception about health and nutrition is that the only way to fully be in good health is to do everything absolutely perfectly. In reality, while adopting a healthy lifestyle and diet that includes a wide variety of lean meats and produce in what you eat, along with drinking plenty of water, you can still indulge in the things that are not so healthy, if and only if it's done modestly. When it comes to unfiltered coffee, 3 cups of unfiltered coffee or less, such as Turkish coffee or from a French press or pour over, you're going to be okay and don't have to be too concerned about increasing your LDL cholesterol because of the coffee you're drinking. Besides the diterpenes like cafestol and kahweol in unfiltered coffee posing a risk in elevating your LDL cholesterol, you also have to consider everything else that you put into your coffee. Coffee cream and half and half are popular for those that like coffee but find black coffee too bitter to enjoy. As always, with moderation, that is just 1 serving of creamer per cup of coffee and less than 4 cups of coffee per day, you have nothing to worry about. But if you use more creamer than that and or drink more coffee than that with the creamer, the sugar and saturated fat in the creamer and half adds up, which could throw off your health goals. Sweetened coffees are popular in coffee shops across America, from the large chains like Starbucks and Dutch Bros to small locally owned cafes. Of course, while I admit they taste absolutely amazing, they also contain a lot of sugar and saturated fat. For example, the Dutch Bros blended drink Camp and Freeze, the large cup contains 1,000 calories with 105 milligrams of cholesterol, 23 grams of saturated fat, and 123 grams of sugar. That's in just 1 cup. If you only have one of these cups once a month, you'll be okay. But if you have 2 or more a week, that might be a contributing factor to the troubling numbers that you see in your blood work. For the bros out there that like drinking bulletproof coffee in which MCT oil and grass-fed butter are added, how much you're adding to your coffee and how many cups you're drinking like that can play a big role in your triglycerides and LDL cholesterol. MCT oil is basically coconut oil, which, like butter, is largely comprised of saturated fat. Coconut oil and butter have about the same amount of saturated fat per tablespoon, approximately 12 grams. And since the recipe for bulletproof coffee calls for 1 to 2 tablespoons of each ingredient, that's approximately 24 to 48 grams of saturated fat per cup. If you're trying to abide by the American Heart Association guidelines for daily saturated fat consumption, just 1 cup of bulletproof coffee already has you almost doubling the daily recommendation of 13 grams of saturated fat per day. In conclusion, while coffee from a French press, pour over, or Turkish coffee contain higher levels of cafestol and kahweol, which can produce a rise in LDL cholesterol when compared to using a filter from a conventional coffee maker or Chemex, this doesn't mean that you can no longer enjoy unfiltered coffee altogether. While cafestol and kahweol are the compounds that can raise your bad cholesterol, they also have been found to carry anti-inflammation, anti-diabetic, and anti-cancer properties. Therefore, if you drink a lot of coffee, that's like 4 or more per day, limiting your unfiltered coffee consumption to 1 to 2 cups a day, it's not going to impact your LDL cholesterol negatively and may actually be doing your overall health a big favor. So that does it for today's Workout Nerd Out. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you know anyone who can benefit from this information, other coffee lovers, please share it with them. Until next time, I'll see you on the next Workout Nerd Out.